Hey everyone, it's time for Geocache Talk. Whether at work, in the car, wherever you are, we hope you enjoy the show. Please give it a like and subscribe on iTunes, Stitcher, Pocket Cast, TuneIn Radio, Google Play, so that you can get all the weekly Geocache Talk goodness. Big thanks to the Travel Bugs for the music, and some more music tonight. And our patrons, Demon Hunter 2, Aggie Jedi Master, Electric Water Boy, Joshua the Geocaching Vlogger, Cashley, One Kind Word, Ravenclaw Tia, Shermanator 18, Butterfly Girl, Loon Trackers, the Aussie Geocacher, the Geo Gearheads, Sodak Zach, the Deadliest Cachers, Terrell 2, Neal Moore, Molly the Geocaching Dog, Team D&D, Geocaching Adam, Peachy 1276, the No Code Geocachers, Curiosity Girl, Tick Magnet, Marsipanic, Bricker John, Fire Safe, Doc Firewoman, FS Sabero, Geo Rick, Cache Addict Mel, Geocaching Janji, the Geocaching Junkie, Sir Drumalot, Genice, Tricasius, Tom Frey, Rugels, and our new patrons, the Bruce Zero and EGK PBR. If you'd like to become a patron, head on over to patreon.com/geocache talk for more details. Patrons get path tags, coins, and other geocaching swag during the year, as well as invites to special events only for patrons. Support levels start at as little as $3 a month. Well, let me start. We got a big show tonight, so let me start by welcoming my co-host, Jesse.
Good evening.
And Sydney is not with us tonight. She is out of town. She's over in D.C., and so she will not be here tonight. But that's okay, because we will carry on with a good show, and we're going to jump right into that right now. Show number 71 for October 15th is we welcome Ron Smith, a.k.a. Johnny Cash, to the show. Welcome to Geocache Talk.
Hello, everybody. I'm Johnny Cash. Happy to be here. How y'all doing? I'm not really from the South, but how's everybody?
That's all right. Way to go, Ron. All right, we're going to talk a little news, and then we're going to get right into the show. But so first thing, we did a 70.5 show in case everybody missed that. Go back and listen to that show. It was a short one we did, but we talked about Geo Woodstock 2018. It is now Giga status.
Giga.
That's right. Giga. So what do y'all think?
That's amazing, first of all. And the first time here in the United States, which is even more awesome. Yeah.
First time in North America.
North America. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, there hadn't been that many overall even. So this is like the sixth one, right?
Okay.
Yeah, this will be the sixth one in geocaching history. So, yeah, the others have either been in Germany or Czech Republic had one a month ago. So, yeah, we're going to have the first one on this side of the world. So.
Yeah, well, everybody's done a great job promoting it and getting the word out.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's making it happen.
Yeah. We plan on being there. I know, Ron, you're planning to be there. Is that right?
Yeah.
Sweet.
Right now, I'm making that commitment.
That's good. Yeah. You're on now. That's all you can do now. Jesse can't be there because of family and graduation.
Family and work and everything. There's like multiple reasons why I can't go.
I know. And we talked about on our little 0.5 show, but I really wish they would do it at around July 4th, because that's a time when most people they're off that most of for the most part. Whereas in May, you're right up against graduations, and I know that's big. That hits yours. Hits you, Jesse. So anyway,
yeah.
You think it's too late to move it? I don't know. Can we start a petition? Probably not, right? Okay.
Yeah, probably not. I'm sorry, buddy.
All right.
It'll happen again. Once you get one, I think it's going to snowball.
I'll catch the next first ever Giga in America. That's no problem.
Oh yeah. Well,
hey, we can make it happen again.
There you go.
Right. Yeah, that's right. And then lastly, coins are still for sale. Here's the coin. Let me do it right again. So I like to put it right here, Ron. See how I did that with the logo behind
I
me?
see what you did there. Yeah.
You see what I did there? See,
I see what you did there.
Anyway,
Awesome.
so coins are for sale $17 US and $23 international. Covers the cost of the coin and the shipping. And to buy one, if you go to the Geocache Talk web page, and it's right at the front of the page, just at the bottom, right underneath the show. So get you one. We still got a few left. So as we get closer to Christmas, hey, it's a great Christmas item. So think ahead a little bit. So
if there's any left by then.
Yeah, if there's any left. So get them while you can. All right. Well, we got Johnny Cash on the show, and we're going to ask Ron about we're going to ask him a lot of things. We're going to have some music here in a little bit too, so it'll be fun. So let's start first with, how in the world did you get started in geocaching?
Well, let me tell you, it started with a little free library, and I know a lot of people out there know what the little free libraries are. You know, the little book exchange boxes in someone's yard or at a business.
Susan is fired up.
She's fired up, yeah.
She loves the little free libraries.
I'll give her any tips she needs to get going.
Oh, we do. We want to get going. But talk a little bit more real quick. Just talk a little about, like you said, what some people may not have even heard of this. What is a little free library?
Well, a little free library is a book exchange, basically, and so it's a box that you build in your front yard and on a post, and people can come and take a book, leave a book. That's the motto for it. Take a book, leave a book. You know, and when you're done with it, you can return it. If you want to keep it, you can keep it. Or if you have other books you want to put in its place, you can do that too. So that's kind of what those are. And there's littlefreelibrary.org, which is the official organization founded by the person who started the whole concept. Actually, Minneapolis, I think, is where that started.
Oh, okay.
So maybe Joshua, Geocache Vloggers, knows about that. But so I had heard that little free library because I like books. I love books. I love reading, and I heard that word little free library and said, "What is that?" So I looked into it and I said, "Wow, that is really cool." And there wasn't anything like that around in my neighborhood. So my dad found an old bookshelf, a real wood bookshelf, and we cut it up and turned it into our little free library. And that's how it started. But how geocaching started for me was being kind of like we're a member of online community with geocaching. The same thing with little free library stewards. You know, you network with people all over the world. And someone asked a question on a blog: has anybody ever had a geocache in their little free library? So kind of like the same way when I heard the word little free library, what's this? I said, geocaching, what is that? And so I looked into it and I said, wow, that is so cool. So the first thing I did was, I didn't find any geocaches yet. I said, I'm going to put one in my little free library. And so I made a hollowed out book, a real book. We cut the inside out and glued it up and put that in there. And then after I started finding geocaches on my own, then I realized, wow, this is cool. So I kind of got hooked on it that way.
Oh, wow. That's awesome.
Yeah.
And then, so what was your first, what was your first geocache, number one? And I guess the follow-up to that would be, does that geocache happen to still be around? Because that's always a kind of a cool thing to talk about, because our first cache is still around. I think Jesse's was not, right, Jesse?
No, it's still around. Just hadn't gotten a favorite point yet.
Okay, right. So is your first cache that you found still out there?
Yeah, it's still out there. It was across the street from the school I worked at.
Oh, wow.
You know, kind of down the side street on one of those electrical boxes. And it was one of those clear containers with a log in it. But, you know, when you first look at that map, that geocaching map, and you see it, you suddenly realize that realization that, oh my gosh, these things are all over the place, and I never knew, right? So so I ran across the street, and back then I only had at that position, you know, for the district I worked for, I only had a half-hour lunch, so time was short then. So I ran across the street and found this thing, and I was amazed, right? But that's the first geocache. The second geocache I found was more impressive because it was a huge, and I think you put a picture of it on Twitter, a huge ammo can made out of wood, and it was in the back of a urban garden, which is maybe a half mile from my work, and I had to trudge through 2 feet of snow because it was late December or early January, I forgot. Wow. And so that was the more memorable one, the second geocache, and that is not there anymore because it was made out of that fiber chipwood, and it just kind of decayed over time. So the owner took that down, but that urban garden is still there. And in a more recent video, like over the summer, I went over there at lunch for one of my lunch videos and went in there, and that's kind of a cool concept, the urban garden concept.
Yeah,
you heard of that?
No, that's when we're talking big, we're talking about you could climb into it and become swag.
Yeah, you lift it up, and I could have climbed into it.
Right. So that's what we're talking about. I like those. Those are a neat idea to do something like that. To make a gigantic,
ammo can.
Yeah, that's awesome. And then people always one of the questions we like to ask is about who you geocache with.
Mm-hmm. Well, I typically lately a geocache solo. I'm a geocache more solo, but I do geocache with my family and my dad specifically. I got him into it not long after I started, and he just took off with it. I mean, we'll go geocaching together, and he will just jump right into the woods or climb a tree, and so it's fun to geocache with him. But we've had family trips where we all hop in the car, my mom, dad, my wife, and kids, and we'll go up to like the Thumb of Michigan. I love lighthouses, and so there's a lighthouse at the Thumb of Michigan, and on the way we found some geocaches. So just stuff like that is primarily geocaching with family and my dad and by myself. And occasionally cool. with some people who just show up at my work door from the other side of the state.
Right.
Yeah.
Like you've had people show up and y'all do a little video together. Some of those. So those are great. And we'll talk about the videos here in a little bit. But so when you say Thumb, you're talking about like the Upper Peninsula of Michigan?
Nope. Let's go like this. See, I live right around here. I get my thumb here. Right around here. This is the cool thing about Michigan is that you can go like this and you've got Michigan.
Right.
But the tip of the thumb is right there. So Lake Huron is right here.
Right.
So there's a nice lighthouse right there. And
okay.
Yeah.
Cool. Very cool. Yeah. I've heard about the Yoopers, but that's
the Yoopers. Yeah.
The people up in the
it's you cross that Mackinac Bridge and it's a different land.
Different world
than the lower. Yeah, it's a different land in the Lower Peninsula. It's just made different. And you realize, yes, it's separated by water, and that is why, because it's a completely different land. Yeah.
Different world up there.
Yeah.
That's awesome. I don't think do you have Michigan, Jesse? I don't have Michigan yet.
I do not.
Come on up.
Well, I need to. I got a few states left to get. That's one of them. So
Michigan makes the book. Let me get my book out. There's the book. So plugging the book again. 2-1 geocache before you die. Michigan.
What's in the book for Michigan?
Michigan is Isle Royale Earth Cache.
Oh yeah, I've heard of that.
Necropolis Ruins. Middle of the Mitten Webcam Cache. Ooh, webcam.
No kidding. Okay.
Who named the best little town by a damn site? Days of Thunder, and the one that a lot of people are familiar with because of the I think it's because it's a good Jasper one, is Power Island.
That is one of the oldest geocaches in Michigan too, because I was looking at the top 5 active oldest geocaches in Michigan, and that was 1 or 2, I think.
Yeah, that's a lot of the top ones in Michigan. That's a lot of very high favorite ones in one state.
Mm-hmm.
Power Island is number 16 in the U.S. as far as oldest geocaches. Wow. At least it was. I don't know. I have to look through the list and see if any of these are gone yet. But of course, Jesse has a couple around him. you know, um, that are very old. He has one called. Well, I love when they're called geocache. It's like, well, which geocache are we talking about? Because there's several.
That means it's probably pretty old.
You know, Terry All and Power Island are right there, 15 and 16. So anyway, little side note. All right, it's time for a song, Ron.
It is
a song. It is. So play whatever you want.
All right. Well, I'm going to do since we were just talking about Woodstock 16. I'm going to sing a song that Neal Moore kind of changed the words to that old TV show about Cincinnati and a radio station. I'm not going to say the name of it. But here's the song. Hope you like it.
Yep.
I'll be here all night. Baby, if you've ever wondered whatever became of me, I'm cashing in a park in Cincinnati. GWS 16. Got kinda tired of LPCs and guardrails, town to town, in and out of lights. Maybe you and me were never meant to find, but every once in a while they show us the sights. Smileys help me shed my lonesome feelings. Road trips with friends are really a blast. Even if it's just a couple hours, we've made memories that are gonna last. So baby, if you've ever wondered whatever became of me, I'm cashing in a park in Cincinnati, GWS 16. I'm at Giga Geo Woodstock 16 in Cincinnati.
Woo-hoo! Awesome.
I like
That's
it.
great.
Oh, thanks.
Good
Neal
stuff.
Moore gives credits to
good old
making
Neal.
those fun lyrics.
Yeah, Neal's the kind of guy who shows up at your door too, right? And sometimes it's like, hey, let's go geocaching. You're like, oh gosh, Neal, okay. Yeah,
that's the best. That's the best kind, the impromptu geocaching.
That's right. We love Neal. Great.
So one of the before we get to more music, one of the hardest questions we ever ask, because there's so many and people are always having trouble narrowing this down. What are some of your favorite geocaching experiences?
Well, all right. I've thought about this. It is hard question, because after a while, some things just get all blended together in your head. But one of the things that stand out for me, one of my earlier geocaches that I found, I had to trudge through thorny bushes, and when I finally got to the cache, open it up, and it was full of glitter, and so I had to stick my hand in there, and then of course there was all bunch of red herring film canisters, and so your hands are covered with glitter and you're in the thorn bushes. But that was fun. But what was more memorable is after I closed that lid and put the cache back, I heard some rustling behind me, and I thought,
oh, no.
Yeah, it was one of those horror movie kind of things. And I look up, I stand up, and I see this gigantic guy, and I'm like, who is this guy? And I'm still a rookie geocacher, and it just turns out that he was just another geocacher coming after the chase. I was first to find that, and he was second to find. So that was one of my cool
awesome.
memories. But some of the other things that I remember the most or memorable moments is going down to Kentucky with my dad for a family reunion, and or my mom, dad, and my brother, and then stopping and doing some of the Hatfield McCoy Geo Trail geocaches.
Oh, okay.
So those were cool, and that's where my dad was raised. He grew up in eastern Kentucky, right in the Hatfield McCoy country. So so that was fun, kind of memorable, going around and finding some of those geocaches and just having fun with him doing that. So I think the most memorable moments in geocaching are when you're with your family or your friends, and you're making, like the song says, you're making memories, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah. So I guess hosting an event. My last year I hosted a gift event, and that was pretty cool. I had never hosted an event before, so doing that was fun. Yeah, getting people together,
Yeah, I love hosting events myself. You get to meet with everybody, even though you're not going out caching. It's just as much fun to share stories with everybody. So
exactly, yeah. Just getting together and socializing, and a lot of times you don't have. rarely do I run into somebody, another geocacher out geocaching. Maybe a handful of times have I run into somebody geocaching. So it is fun to get everybody together and for a purpose. And there's a monthly meet and greet in Port Huron, and which is just 20 minutes from me, and I try to make that when I can. So at least people are out there doing the monthly things, trying to get everybody together. So those are cool.
Those are fun. So you mentioned a couple places. Where else has geocaching taken you?
Well, it's that Folsom Prison thing. I'm still on parole from that Folsom Prison Johnny casting, and I don't travel a lot. So I just sit around the house. No, I don't. I actually don't travel a lot. So that question is hard to answer because I haven't really gone a lot of places far from home. But virtually, I mean, through Instagram and Twitter and YouTube and all those places I've been all over the world, really. I mean,
that's right.
I think I've been in Australia. I've been in Europe. I've been in Canada. I've been in other parts of the United States. I've been in New Zealand. Just because of meeting those people virtually. So that's kind of cool. But hey, I'm going to Geo Woodstock 16, so I'm going to meet. That'll be my first event, my first big event, other than a local event. So
very cool.
Well, that's exciting.
Not far from you. Yeah, that's a short.
Yeah, what is it from Detroit to Cincinnati? 5 or 6, I think.
It's got to be short. I'll look it up real quick.
Yeah, I think it's 5 or 6.
That's a good.
Not that far.
No, that's not too bad.
No.
That's an early Saturday morning drive. There's nothing
wrong
with that at all.
Yeah.
Driven much farther than that for fun on the weekends.
Yeah.
So another one of the common questions we like to ask when we get somebody on the show is, what do you like most about geocaching?
Yeah. Well, I'm going to give you that cliche answer.
Oh.
Right? I know you. It's the places geocaching takes me. No, but that's the cliche answer. But even more than that, it's the people like that, like I talked about before. It's the people that I've met, geocaching and the friends that I make doing it. So I think that's what I like about most about geocaching, and also spending more time with, for instance, my dad. We play music together and we see each other a lot, but the geocaching added another reason why we're going to get up and go out somewhere on a Saturday night or Saturday morning. Or just that type of thing. So I think just getting out there and being in the woods. I never was really a trail walker that much before geocaching, and now I just look forward to walking a trail and finding geocaches, or just walking a trail, or being in the woods and that kind of thing. So it's really been adventurous, to do that kind of stuff.
Well, it's cool you get to share it with your dad. My wife and I, we use geocaching as a date a lot of times. We'll get out and, whether it's a Saturday morning or because you can do it anywhere, anytime. And generally it doesn't cost you too much money,
Right.
Nope.
Until you break something or, whatever else happens on the trail. But no, it's a good thing you can share with almost anybody, any walk of life. It's kind of nice.
Exactly. And I just noticed your nickname there.
Oh, yeah.
Sneaking that in. I didn't know if anybody had noticed that one or not.
I like that boy named Sue.
Man.
Love it.
But I geocached. My wife comes out with me occasionally, and she's not a big fan of geocaching, but she doesn't mind. And my kids come out with me, and they're not big fans of geocaching either. But it's okay. It's not for everybody. So.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah.
And it comes and goes. There may be a time later on when they get into it or it strikes their fancy and they may want to do it more. So
yeah. If you're creative, I know for people that like Jesse and I are in good situations because our wives love to go geocaching. Jesse's daughters love to go geocaching, host events even.
Yeah.
But for those that don't, you have to kind of be maybe a little bit more creative with making it interesting for others that are not big into geocaching, and kind of making it interesting for both people, or family, whatever. So so speaking of what you're saying about people who don't geocache on the same kind of thing is when you're not geocaching. What are you up to?
What am I up to? Well, I do have the day job. Unfortunately, music doesn't pay the bills.
Wait a minute! I thought
the
you were
geocaching doesn't pay the bills either.
I thought you were a full-time musician. What?
No,
wait a minute.
no. Where'd you get that idea?
Well, yeah. So you got a really regular day job.
Regular day job. Yeah, I'm an administrative assistant for a school district, which is a pretty cool job.
Cool.
And of course, I'm a husband and father, and that's a great job too. Not a job, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
But other than that, playing music, I have a family band with my dad and my brother, and we play music together. But I am also a working musician. I do that for extra income and for the fun of it, the love of it.
Right.
So I'm in a two-man group called Smith and Tucker,
Cool.
and so we play a lot. I mean, we play every weekend almost, a couple times a weekend. So two-man band, and I play guitar and mandolin, and he plays guitar and harmonica, and so we do all kinds of stuff like Cat Stevens, Neil Young, stuff from the 70s,
yes.
music like that. So
yes, you're talking my language, man. I love that stuff. So when did you learn the mandolin?
The mandolin, here, let me switch instruments here. The mandolin.
Was it hard to like pick up, or because I mean what are the things that you feel are really hard to do on a mandolin, or I guess
actually I find things easier to do on
the
mandolin, because how Smith and Tucker uses the mandolin, and even with my dad and my brother. By the way, our band is called Runyon's Branch, and that's the name of the holler that my dad grew up in Kentucky.
Cool.
But I find how I use it is I will emulate a keyboard lead or a guitar lead on the mandolin when we're playing music together. So
like bluegrass is really good.
So we're not really, I'm not really doing the bluegrass on the mandolin, but
sure.
like like Daniel from Elton John. So that's actually a keyboard part. I'll do it on the mandolin, and so that's how that works out. And so I think I picked up the mandolin maybe, I'm thinking 10 years ago, about that. And I wanted to learn one song. I wanted to learn "Losing My Religion" by R.E.M. And my dad and my brother and we were going to play that song. And so I did learn it. And then I hung the mandolin up on the wall, right? And it hung on the wall, not this one, but my first one. Hung on the wall for, I don't know, a long time, a year or so. And then my buddy Doug, he says, and I'm sorry, I was still playing with my dad and my brother, but my buddy Doug wanted to start this two-man group thing, two-man music. So I started noodling with it again. So yeah, it's been fun. Yeah, and like I said, I find it easier to copy guitar leads or keyboard things on the mandolin. I don't know why. I think it's just the tuning of the strings is suited for that, maybe.
Well, in two-man band, like you said, you don't have you really don't have maybe nearby a keyboard to jump on. So like you said, you can you can grab it. You can play one part. You can play the sort of like you said, like the part there from Daniel from Elton John. You can play a little keyboard type thing. So
exactly,
what are some other things you like to play on the mandolin? Give us a little more.
Let's see. Well, I took a stroll on an old long walk of a day. Met a little girl and we started to talk on a fine soft day. And I asked you, man, tell me what would you do if her hair was black and her eyes were blue? And I knew right then I'd be taking the world on a solid bill prom with the Broadway girl. I got a little solo here. So yeah, that's a fun song to do. It gets people up dancing.
Yeah. It works so well. You know, like you said, it works so well in a two-man band. It really does. I
It
think.
does, yeah.
So,
Yeah, and it's kind of unique too for us. You know, playing up. You know, I live on the St. Clair River, and most of the places we play are up and down the St. Clair River here, and so it's that music kind of suits the establishments that we play and the age group of people that come out to those places. And so yeah, you know, with the two-man, you need to have a bigger sound. So you know, I'm doing this, and my partner's playing 12-string or his just got a new jumbo 6-string. It's beautiful. So he's playing that, and then backing up with a harmonica as well. So yeah, we've had a lot of comments from people who can't believe we're making all that sound ourselves, and well, yeah, it's just us. So.
Well, like you said, it's a nice change up because, like you said, with two-man band, it's nice that you guys both have other instruments you can play, so you can kind of, you know, it really adds, like you said, to the kind of songs you can do. You can kind of change it up a little bit, and that's really cool.
And do different eras, different eras of music. And we've been having my dad join us on bass lately, so that's been fun too. That's nice. Yeah. And we just have a fiddle player too. You know, just a friend of ours she's a really excellent fiddle player. So she's been learning some of the songs we do, and she'll join us occasionally as well. So,
oh, cool!
Yeah,
that's awesome.
Yeah, it is fun.
So something else you do when you're not geocaching? Well, it's actually related to geocaching, but you're also vlogging. So
yeah,
you started vlogging. So when did you start vlogging? Was it before geocaching, or was it?
It was just after I started geocaching.
Okay.
Because I had wanted something to vlog about, but you know, I'm not that interesting enough of a guy to do a daily vlog about my life. I'm like, who wants to see that, right? So
come on now.
So when geocaching came along, and I learned so much about geocaching by watching other vloggers, like right away. And, you know, that's the thing. When I want to learn a new song, we're gonna look it up on YouTube because somebody's playing it on YouTube. So same thing with geocaching, and so that's when I first saw Joshua, geocaching vlogger, and Derek, geocaching with Derek, and Justin, the Geodoc, Justin Geodoc,
Justin GC Doc,
GC Doc, and it was those were the three that I first discovered, and I thought, wow, you know, I've edited videos before, so I knew I could do this, and I think from almost the very beginning, I just started getting out there and it's hard to get used to talking to a camera. Okay. Right. So I just started right away. And, you know, the first ones obviously were a little rough but, you know, I got better and better. And, you know, just looking at the way that those guys were doing their videos and kind of crafting it like them, but then going my own way after a while. So, yeah. And of course, there's so many other geocaching vloggers that I can't mention everybody, and I don't want to forget anybody. But those were my first influences, and then you know you have Neal Moore and Jamie started CZZ, and you know, Geo Paul from England, and
we love Geo Paul. He's a big fan, and we love. We're big fans of his. Yes.
Yeah. So Craig,
Yep. Oh, Craig,
suggested that I try Vegemite for lunch. That was a fun video that I did.
Yeah. Craig was in the chat room. I don't know if he's still.
I'm not sure what time it is. He probably had to go to work.
Yeah, Neal's in there. Some other people.
Neal's in there. Hey,
yeah. I think it's like Thursday in Craig's time. I'm not sure. I may have calculated it wrong, but
yeah. I think you calculated right. That's about right. I think it's midnight.
It's metric, so I don't know. I can't keep up.
Did you ever go back and watch your original videos? Because I asked that about Joshua.
I did, yeah.
And they're not bad. I liked your first ones.
Oh, mine? Or
yeah.
Mine. Yeah, thanks. Yeah. No, the first one I did. I actually my battery died on my camera, and so I missed. The most adventurous thing that happened in that video was that my car got stuck on the ice, and I couldn't get out, and so I had to get help from some construction guys that were working on a house next door. But my battery died, and I couldn't film that part of to make the video, even my first video. But you know, so I got the hang of just talking to that camera, you know, talking to it and looking at it, and that's like a hard thing to get used to, you know. And then at the same time, you have to be aware of your surroundings and be a geocacher. So so that, you know, that's developed over time, I think.
Speaking of the camera, what camera do you use now? Is it the same one you started with? What do you use for equipment?
Well, I started with this Sony right here, this little guy right here. Okay. And I bought this camera because it took great pictures in low light. But then when I started vlogging, I didn't have any other camera. I had a handheld camcorder, but that wasn't as good as this even.
Sure.
So this thing took, you know, the first, I don't know how many videos were made with this, you know, and it worked great. But then I upgraded to this guy, and this is like, you know, the vlogger's camera. So I'm excited to use this one. And this is, you know, high definition, 1080p and all that stuff. Unfortunately, my computer is 10 years old, so it doesn't import the video at 1080p, but that's okay. It's still, you know, a good camera, excellent camera to use. And so, that's all I use. Just that. Yeah.
Well, and shooting the video is only half of it, right? I've done a few videos myself, and I've taken a lot more video than has ever aired anywhere. The biggest problem I find is editing. How do you tackle that?
Actually, editing is one of the things I like to do better than being out there filming it, because I like to take something. I might think that what I have on this camera from this trip of geocaching is just garbage, you know, and then I'll import it, and I'll start you know, looking at it and adding some music, and it turns out pretty good, you know. So I like the editing part of it, because you're taking all that raw footage, and like you said, you know, I might have, you know, half hour of stuff on here or more, but I'm narrowing it down to like 4 or 5 minutes of a video, and the rest of it's just on the cutting floor, you know. So editing, I do like editing. I use iMovie because I just already had it on my computer, and it's an easy program to use, and so it's been good, you know. So I like it. I like iMovie.
Yeah, iMovie is pretty easy to use too. So
it is. There's some iMovie haters out there, but I don't have any other editing software, and I really don't have time to learn to use any other editing software. And iMovie is easy to go, and it makes good videos for me. So I like it. Yeah,
I do too, and it can do some pretty amazing things, considering it. You know, it comes on your MacBook and stuff, and you don't have to pay extra for it. And I think there's even a version for the mobile devices too, like phones and iPads and stuff.
Yeah, there is. Yeah, there's actually and talk about mobile things. GarageBand is on the iPhone too, and that's when I recorded that song for Neal, the GWS16 song. I did it on my phone with GarageBand, so that's a good app to have for that too. But
yeah, I don't use GarageBand that much on mine. I play all the music on just iTunes. So that's the extent of my musical talent right there. Yeah, I can hear any song almost and play it on iTunes immediately. So that's my musical talent. And then I still probably mess it up. No. But speaking of music.
Yeah, speaking of music, we're gonna do another song.
All right.
And Jesse, I did a little rearranging, so you got the next question as well. So
all right.
This one.
Go ahead.
Is this we're gonna hear 50 Cache, or we're gonna hear something else?
No, let's do the 50 Cache song. And let me tell you a story how this came about. I'm running out of lunchtime geocaches, right? That are within a distance that I can go spend some time making the video and be back to work in time, right? And so I thought, well, I need another thing to do, and I had this idea about geocaching right after work, you know, kind of a spin-off. And I had the name in my head for probably 2 months. So anyway, my dad and I are coming back a few weeks ago from the family reunion, another family reunion in Kentucky, the annual Smith Music Festival. And I said, you know, I got this idea for a series of videos called It's 50 Cache Somewhere, but I don't have a song. I need a song. So we were silent for a while, and he came up with the first 2 lines. I'm leaving work without a care. It must be 50 cache somewhere. So then I was silent. I said, that is brilliant. And so we drove on for some while, and we were, you know, just quiet driving, and it popped into my head. Hop in the car, tap the app, look at the geocaches on the map. So here's the intro song to what I hope is a new series of videos for me called It's 50 Cache Somewhere. I'm leaving work without a care. It must be 50 cache somewhere. Hop in the car, tap the app, look at the geocaches on the map. It's 50 cache somewhere. It's 50 cache somewhere.
Yeah. Love it.
And then I made that little, I don't know if all the people in the chat room have seen that video yet. You know, it was a couple weeks ago. But I made that little intro segment right outside of my work in maybe 10 or 15 minutes. And I had the song playing on my phone so I could lip sync it to my camera. And that's about it.
Awesome.
Yeah, it was fun. It was fun, Nick. So,
that's funny. So, have you got anything else mapped out for that series? Do you know what you're going to do, or that's inspiration for it, right? But
yeah, I had the inspiration for it, but I'm kind of stuck on what's going to make this unique, because you know, geocaching after work, you know, everybody does that, or anybody can do that. But what
everybody
made
should.
Everybody should do that.
Yeah.
What made the Cache for Lunch video so cool was how the idea, and I didn't think of this at first, or I didn't know it was going to become this, but the idea of what I was having for lunch just took off, and I love that. I mean, it was so much fun to have people suggest what I should eat for lunch. So you know, we could go on.
There's some crazy stuff. People
the Vegemites. Geo Jerry out there in Washington State, he suggested the Sasquatch pizza. I'm like, all right, I'm gonna do the Sasquatch pizza, but I can't just make a video of me eating pizza. Let's put my son in a Sasquatch costume, and we'll make a video like that. Right. So that's kind of fun. But so what the gimmick is?
Yeah, the one with Neal Moore cracks me up.
And I also say it's fun to have people want to collaborate with me. Neal Moore coming over from Grand Rapids, which is a 3-hour drive, 3-hour drive, and he came over and
the peanut butter and jelly sandwich, and you're like, oh, okay, he's gonna eat a peanut butter and jelly sandwich, and then then you're like, oh my gosh, there's Neal. It's like right
he's
there.
Like hiding behind
you. Yeah, he's right in the back seat.
Yeah, that was fun, man. And then we ended up just like being a Laurel and Hardy, just naturally, just playing off each other's humor, and he's a fun guy to do that. And then I had some people make videos in tribute or homage. Did I say that? Homage of Cache for Lunch. Like Jamie started as ZZZ. She made one and mentioned me. Dan Close in England. He's made one. And forgetting somebody across the river from me. Smith, his last name's Smith too. He's a vlogger. Forgive me. But he made a geocaching for lunch video as well.
That's cool.
But anyway, back to that original question. The gimmick of what 50 Cache Somewhere is, I don't know yet.
Oh, okay.
I'm just gonna go out and just have some fun, make some videos. I'm thinking maybe I'll sit in a restaurant and actually get the food thing back involved with it, and maybe I'll just call up some geocachers and have them send their video to me, like we'll do a split screen thing where we're doing a little conversation about geocaching. So I don't know, just some ideas running past.
I like it. Yeah. That's pretty creative ideas. Have you noticed that your approach to videos has changed over time, or you kind of have a philosophy or anything? Or
I don't think my approach has changed too much. I think my technique has to where I'm trying to keep things more stabilized with the camera, because I notice when I'm watching a video, I'm like, see the motion of the camera swinging around, like, oh, I have to stop doing that. So I'm I'm making myself dizzy, and let alone somebody else. So I'm working on trying to stabilize the motion of the camera, or doing creative, trying to be more creative with the camera angles and make it more interesting. And I try to be trying to be entertaining. So I hope that the videos are entertaining. I mean, yeah, it's about geocaching. So here I am out geocaching, but let's have some fun with it too. So.
It's Brent Smith, Sim Rebel.
Brent, thank you. Oh, sorry, Sim Rebel. Sorry, Brent. I couldn't come up with your first name. Yeah.
That was Neal helping us out in the chat.
Ah, thanks, Neal.
He also said he slept there all night. So I guess when he came to visit, you made him sleep in the car all night.
All night. Well,
Ron, that's not.
He didn't take a shower. He just
showed up.
I took a shower. I didn't want to.
Yeah.
I didn't want to invite him in.
No, you don't want to do that. You've got to clean up some before that. So
yeah, exactly. And then we were out sweating all day, and it was like, oh,
yeah.
Gosh.
No, he drove back.
All right, we're going to switch gears again. We're going to talk a little bit about hashtag US Geocaching Hour.
Yeah,
which
that's cool.
Is a lot of fun. We love doing it. Susan and I sit, and she uses TweetDeck, which was very helpful.
Yeah.
I do it on my phone. I'm hardcore, so I do it on my phone, and I just have to sit there and
that's hard.
I know. Try to keep up, and periodically Susan's like, "Did you see the next question?" I'm like, "No, I don't see the next question. I'm too busy." Like either trying to keep up, or messing with Chef Spada or all the Travis, or a couple of the guys that they get me sidetracked doing Seinfeld stuff, and so I get sidetracked doing stuff. But tell us a little bit, because some people may not know about it. So first, tell us a little about US Geocaching Hour.
Okay.
And then how you got involved.
All right. Well, the hashtag US Geocaching Hour is a tweet chat on Monday nights at 8 Central, 9 Eastern. And what that means is that a tweet chat is where you're using a hashtag, and if you put that hashtag on all of your tweets, it'll come up on the feed, and you can follow that feed and have conversations with people about common interests. And of course, ours is geocaching, and so what I was really into geocaching, and so I discovered that, and I think they had just recently started, maybe 6 months old or something like that, and it was just the four hosts at the time. So I sent out a little message that said, if you're ever looking for another host, I'd be interested in that. And so that's how I got on board. And so it's fun. I mean, it's great to be a part of the team with Dan and Joshua, and now Jamie and Sydney and Josh, and so it's just fun to be part of the team with those guys, and we rotate as hosts. And lately we've been having some special guests come in as hosts, so that's been fun. So yeah, and you need TweetDeck. You really need you need something, because things go so fast that you really need to be able to see the whole picture.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I've done the same thing too, Gary, where I'm like, I don't want to be on my computer, but I want to lay back, on the pillow and on my phone. But it's hard to keep up that way, and it's hard to type quickly. And then you forget to put hashtag US Geocaching Hour on there. Yeah.
Now, do you pull back the curtain a little bit on this thing? Do you automate? Because some of the hosts will automate their questions.
Yeah.
Do you go ahead and automate your questions?
I do. Okay. I'll think of, like, if I'm going to host, then I'll think of my questions. Maybe, like, actually, if I know I'm hosting on a certain Monday, I'll start thinking way ahead, because it's hard to come up with questions. Oh, yeah. Especially after 2 years. And I mean, every question about geocaching has probably been asked, except for current event kind of questions. So I'll try to think of questions ahead of time, and then I will, like on a Sunday night, schedule them all to go. And that way, on I use TweetDeck, schedule, and I might even schedule my own responses as well. And what that allows me to do as the host that night is to step back. I don't have to worry about when I'm going to type the question up because it's already there, and I can pay attention to what's happening. Who's responding, and I can respond with them or interact with people more freely than if I was to actually have to put out the questions live, instead of having them scheduled. And so we just try to space them out so that they're spaced out throughout the hour, and I think that works great. I like it. Yeah.
One thing I think is to let people know is if you're not in the U.S., you are more than welcome to join.
Absolutely,
Don't feel like
people popping in from England, and Harry GC Harry Bow from England, and his brother. Again, I'm having a brain forget, but his brother is a geocacher as well. And then Craig
gets on there.
Yeah, he gets on there. So yeah, you don't have to be just from the United States or North America to be there. And Pete from IB Geocaching, he's in Nova Scotia, so he pops in a lot, almost every time, and so we have people from all over, which is kind of cool. And then actually, there's a geocaching hour in England too. It's called UK Geocaching Hour. Yeah,
they're on.
I think they do theirs on Tuesdays.
Yeah. But people feel free to no matter where you are in the world, just come join us. Please accept our invitation. Make a note, because I think some people forget. And so we try to remember. And if you know people that you feel like would really enjoy the interaction with other geocachers, maybe you can't make it all the time. I know Jesse's always got a lot of times this up on Monday night. So
yeah, we get family stuff a lot on Monday night with the kids, and we'll try to. Many times I've been driving somewhere, or not driving, I'm not the driver. But if we're going somewhere right before we start something, I'll jump in for just a minute on the phone and then jump back out and and do something. Yeah, I can't sit out with my computer for the whole hour, but I like it when I can take the laptop out and get TweetDeck on and engage in the whole show. But you can't. You got other stuff sometimes too.
Oh yeah. But just letting people know that if you're not available or whatever, but if you know somebody that you think would benefit, would really enjoy the interaction, especially try to get new geocachers involved, because we do. You guys do a great job of asking really great questions, and the interaction with other geocachers is interesting, because even though it's only Twitter and you only most people have 140 characters that they can mess with on the thing, we get some great answers, and so the questions are great. Usually there's a theme, which I appreciate you guys kind of doing that too, with the the theme might be about the hazards of geocaching or whatever it happens to be. And so there's a lot about that I think people, it's not for everybody, but for people that are interested, come join us for a Monday and try it and see if you like it. Because we get people from all over, from all walks of life. And we have, Mudax over in, she's in LA, we've got, like you said, we've got people up in Michigan. We've got Sir Drumalots in the South. We've got like I said, Spada's up in Boston. We've got people in all sorts. The Canadians. We love our Canadians. The jump on. It's funny because we get to hear. Once in a while we'll people pop in, tell what the temperature currently is and wherever they're at. And so. There's a lot of cool stuff to that.
Well, it's so fast paced too. You get in and it's the geocaching hour, but you get in about fast. You're updating and you're trying to type in your questions and your answers or whatever. And every once in a while you'll throw the reverse in where the people that are joining the thing come up with some questions and stuff.
Oh, the reverse panel, I think we did that for the anniversary. And
it's so by the time you type and look and read everybody's stuff, next thing you know, it's like, hey, this is the last question. We only have 3 more minutes. Or you're like, what? Did they shorten it this week? No, it's about a whole hour has gone by. It's like the most fast-paced show out there.
Yeah, it is. And then you spend another 15 minutes after just trying to see what you missed, maybe because it was going by so fast. Yeah. So let me just mention for anybody who's interested in popping in for the first time, what usually happens is the questions will have Q1 or Q2. and then when you answer that question, you would start out with A1 or A2 or whatever the case is, so that everybody knows that what answer or question you're answering, and it helps keep things organized. So,
yeah. Yeah, definitely. You get the hang of it once you do a little bit, and don't feel like you have to keep up with every single answer. I mean,
no.
Until you get used to it, just enjoy the process. People in the chat room are like, North Dakota, Nebraska. It's like, people are kind of like chiming in and giving us their little thing. Yeah. And Neal's like, make sure you do hashtag US Geocaching Hour.
Yeah. Thanks, Neal. That's right. Because if you don't do that,
if you don't, we don't see it.
Then we don't see it.
No.
And, that takes up a lot of your characters too. So you got to keep your answers short.
keep your answers short and sweet. Or in the case of some people, they do a GIF.
Sorry to interrupt you, Gary, but I just was looking at the chat room on my phone, and we got Morn's Wanderer, and he's from Ireland. He's in there from Ireland, so that's awesome. So people from all over the world are they're here tonight, so that's cool. Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's one of the really cool things about geocaching is you connect with people that you would never, you may not have anything else in common with, just all over the world and just constantly. It's not like a rare thing. It's just that quick. You know, how else would you just randomly start chatting? I guess you could, on the internet, but be a little weird. But
it might be a little weird. Yeah.
Not my thing. But yeah, just people there's people in the chat room tonight from all over the place, just like on the US Geocaching Hour. That's one of the coolest things, in my opinion, about geocaching.
Yeah, absolutely. I love that's what and I guess that goes back to one of the questions you asked me. Is that's one of the things that I love about it the most is the people that I've met, even just virtually. I mean, I'm meeting you guys kind of face to face, but we're still virtually meeting, and that's what's so great about it. It's just amazing how hiding a little container with a log sheet in it can create such a community of people. It's cool. That's all I gotta say.
Well, that's where it's really neat. Like, everybody in the world but me apparently is going to the gig coming out, and like when you go and you travel to an event like that, that's outside of your normal area, or even a big one in your area, you may get to finally meet somebody in person that you've been chatting through US Geocaching Hour or chat rooms or whatever for a year or more, and you finally get to put a face to the name and a face to the geo name, and it's pretty neat most of the time. So
I mean,
some of them like Gary sucker you into a podcast all of a sudden. Next thing you know, you're taking all your time up just from one event. I mean, next thing you know,
hey, you want to do a podcast with me?
But the rest of the time, it's great.
Yeah, exactly.
But the rest of the time,
we'll just do it for a little while. It's no problem.
You're on board for the long haul, and this show is going to be on for a long time, so we're not going anywhere.
That's cool.
Too much fun.
Way too much fun. Well, and to toot our own horn, I did add up this has been a while back, but we have active listeners to the show in 53 countries. That's amazing to me.
Wow.
That we have that many countries represented, and Sick One mentioned he's in Australia, and everybody mentions where they're from. We have, like I said, I can't mention all. There's 53 of them that they're actively downloading the show and listening. So, it means a lot to us, means a lot to Jesse and I and to Sydney that people are willing. It kind of boggles our minds, I think, the fact that people listen to our little show and enjoy it from all over the world, and so. It's neat to reach out and be able to talk to people in a sense. I mean, they're listening to us, but we get a lot of emails. We get a lot of cool stuff. So it's just neat to be involved in that. So, and Ron, that's something that I think is neat for you as well. As you've got lots of subscribers. It's going up. Please go subscribe.
I mean, I just hit 300. I think at 308. And that's awesome. Yeah. Oh, 311. Thanks for looking.
Gone up. See?
Yeah, I noticed on my phone I had a couple new subscribers just today, so that's great. Thanks. Right. Thanks, guys, for subscribing to my channel.
Yeah, go subscribe to go.
I like to have fun. Yeah. Actually, sometimes going out to make the video is a reason for me to even go geocaching. So, I just like doing that. So, it's all cool. Yeah,
it's perfect.
Cool.
Well,
and Neal was helping me out in the chat room one more time. He was reminding me that Owen is the name of
Owen, yes.
Harry's
Mormon.
brother
Yep.
in England, and they're both bloggers too.
Yes. Yeah, that's great. Yeah, we've conversed back and forth. I've conversed back and forth with both of them. They're great. So we're gonna wrap up the show, but we got to do one more song.
One more song, eh?
Yeah, well, get the guitar out. Let's do one more song, and we're gonna wrap up. So I mean,
all right. Well, I won't do the whole song. It's kind of a long song. I'll just do part of it. But this is a song that I like to play a lot. It's called Wagon Wheel, and it was originally by Old Crow Medicine Show, and Bob Dylan co-wrote it. And Old Crow Medicine Show is a bluegrass kind of band, but then there was Darius Rucker,
yes,
Hootie and the Blowfish, Turn Country, and he did this song, and that's why when we play it, everybody knows what it is. So I'll just do part of it here. Heading down south, land of the pines, I'm thumbing my way to North Carolina. Steer at the road and pray to God I see headlights. Made it down the coast in 17 hours, sticking me a bouquet of dogwood flowers, and I'm hoping for a rally. I can see my baby tonight. All right, sing along, guys. So rock me, mama, rock the wagon wheel. Rock me, mama, anyway you feel. Hey, mama, rock me. Rock me, mama, like the wind and the rain. Rock me, mama, like a southbound train. Hey, mama, rock me.
Yeah, good job. Good job.
Oh, thank you. I love that song. It's a fun song to play.
Yeah, it is.
I'm usually playing the mandolin on that song.
Oh, yeah, that's there you go.
Yeah. So that was my early Christmas gift to our audience. I did not sing. That was
that's the early one, right?
We would have lost all maybe 52 of those countries. I'm not sure how many. For sure,
oh, that's funny.
Ron, we really appreciate you being on tonight.
I appreciate you asking me. It's been fun, and I've been looking forward to it ever since you invited me on, and it's fun. You know, it's fun. You know, so thanks everybody for watching my videos and subscribing and chatting in the chat room, and I just love it. Thanks so much.
You bet. Well, coming up on the show next week, we have Joshua White. He is the owner of X-Tags. He's the new owner, relatively new owner of X-Tags. We're going to talk about X-Tags and Path Tags and get some information from Joshua. He just went to Geocoin Fest, which was this past weekend. So we'll get an update on how that went at Geocoin Fest. I wish I could have been there. Treasure was well represented there. Ansley Gordon was at Geocoin Fest signing some autographs and everything. And so we'll get an update from Joshua White on that. He went to Going Caching too. The guy's been everywhere. So we'll get an update on how that went next week. Week after that, we have on Matt Mercurio, who is also in the movie. He was Ryan. Interesting to talk to Matt. You know, he was in American Made and been involved in a lot of different shows of late. Been very busy. TV and movies, and so we're going to get Matt's take on Treasure. And then in 3 weeks, stay tuned. Set your schedule right now.
This is Jesse's department.
Do not miss November 5th, Show 74, the Where I Go Show.
All right. Where I go is where you go.
That's right.
That's right. So we're going to get all things Where I Go and why you should love Where I Go. And we're going to convert you to a Where I Go fan.
They're fun. They're fun to do. Yeah.
There you go. He's a fan right there.
There we go.
Yeah.
I knew he was smart for a reason.
Yeah.
I knew I liked him.
Oh, thanks. Well, thank you. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Wait, sorry, that was Elvis.
That's Elvis.
Yeah.
So like, it's hello there. I'm Johnny Cash.
Hey, hello. I'm Johnny Cash.
Folks, hope you enjoy the show tonight. Please email us your comments, geocachetalk@gmail.com. Don't forget to follow us on Twitter at Geocache Talk. I'm at Gary Slinkard. Jesse at Memphis_Mafia, and Sydney is at ShermanatorGC, and Facebook at facebook.com/Geocache Talk. Show can be found on iTunes, Stitcher, TuneIn Radio, Google Play, as well as the Geocache Talk website, geocachetalk.com. Don't forget to click on the subscribe button below so that you can see and hear the show on a weekly basis. And until next week, don't just talk about geocaching. Go check out Johnny Cash's YouTube channel and then go geocaching.
There you
Good night,
go.
everybody.
Good night.
Bye.
Good night.
Thanks.